Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Muzaffar bin Muhammad Faiz, matrix number 2010911009 from course EMJ23103 Control Systems Engineering, and today I will demonstrate on how to simulate a PID controller in Simulink MATLAB. So we open up MATLAB and we open up Simulink, and here we have task 1, the block diagram for task 1. So to create this block diagram, it basically open library browser, and to get this step, you can just search step, and you can just drag it here, drag it outside, and this is sum, and you can drag it out, and so the default is plus and plus. To edit it, left click it, double left click it or right click it, and it will pop up this, and just put the negative here, and this will usually be at the bottom. To get a PID controller, open library browser, PID controller, and this is the PID controller that we're using. To get this, transfer function and scope, but the one we're using is this one, transfer function, this basic transfer function. And to get the scope, this is the scope. This is to simulate the graph for the PID controller. To edit the transfer function, you can double left click it or right click it, and we can insert values for our coefficients and for our numerator coefficients and denominator coefficients. Here we can so we inserted 10, the value of 10, and denominator coefficients 1, 10, 35, 50, 24, and 0, and this is the values. Here are the values. So the default would be this small, but to fully see the transfer function, just drag out the block and it pops out. So since we are going to simulate a PID controller, a full PID, left click the PID controller. We adjust the settings for P, I, and D, and we get this from our calculations earlier. We have to do calculations for the PI and D, and from those calculations we insert it here into these options with a filter coefficient of 100. For the tuning method, we pick transfer function based PID tuner app and not this one. This one is not suitable. So we click apply, and to see the graph, we click tune. And it takes a while for it to simulate. Okay, so after a while, it comes out like this. So we can play with the slider here for response time. This is to increase or decrease the simulation time. As you can see here, for slower, it simulates for 300 seconds with a 1.6 amplitude. And for transient behavior, aggressive or more robust, this is to adjust the curve for it to become smoother or more rapid or more aggressive, as it says here, aggressive curve. So we pick robust, and we right click on the grid, pick response, settling time, and rise time, and we can click on each individual spot to see the values, but this can get confusing. So To simplify stuff, we can click here, show parameters, and this will show every single characteristics of the graph. So we need to adjust accordingly to get the values. And that is how you simulate a PID controller in Simulink. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.